What's up, YouTube fans? Today we're going to take a look at the CangToys Thorilla and Rosirius. They're versions of kind of their own characters, but if I had to put a name, this would be like a Nemesis Optimus Primal and kind of like a Wolffoot or whatever. These are really their own characters. They're meant to combine with the other figures to form their stylized version of Predaking. Now, I did look at number 6, which is their huge rhino, their version of Headstrong. So this is number 5. Now this one happens to be number 8, but it's the foot. So I'm actually working my way down backwards from number 6 down to number 1, since these are the newer figures and the other ones are the older figures. So we are going to show only the robot mode and the alt mode. We're not going to go over the combined mode. We'll do a separate video for all of the combined mode parts, how to put it together, all the little pieces, the combining gun, the combining axe, all that stuff. So with that being said, thanks to Ting Lee for sending this for review. He bought his from Bombasby, and I told him I would mention that here in this review. So with all that being said, let's get started. We'll start off with Thorilla here. All right, and let's get in close on Thorilla. He's got some nice paint and details, pretty much 100% painted gunmetal, gold, kind of maroonish, black accents and tampos, white tampos. He's number 5, so he's got number 5 kind of all over the place in different spots. Here's the back. He's got a little bit of green paint there, some red for the boosters here on his legs. I mean, there's a lot of nice details on him overall. He really does look good. Now, one thing out of box, which I was kind of annoyed about, but it was not an issue, was the legs came with these pieces installed. And they actually just go right on these hips here. And when you have those installed, see, this one is unratcheted. If you have that installed, it's ratcheted. Well, that's meant, I believe, for the combined mode so that you have a nice strong ratchet. Well, the problem with that is the detent is so far out. And I hate when detents are that far out. Well, you don't need it to be that far out because you can just remove it. So that's a pretty smart way to do it, because that releases the ratchet and now it moves without a ratchet. So you can have it at any width on these legs. That's a really smart piece of engineering. So my mistake on the unboxing, I mentioned that the detents were apart. They're not. But let's get a look at this guy. The head, they did do some light piping here. You can see it's translucent red. The eyes are translucent red. It works pretty well here on my display here, but I would have preferred, metallic red eyes. The head can go down to there, up to there, side to side, and rotate. Nice tolerance on the head. In fact, actually, there's nice tolerances all throughout this figure, just like the huge rhino figure we looked at. This one, same thing. Lots of nice, not too tight, not too loose. The shoulder joint here can accordion up and down on a double hinge, so you can get it up to there. You can also open up this, which will allow you to get the arm up to there. You can also lift the whole thing up, which allows you to get the arm up higher. So that really kind of works very well. Rotates around on a ratchet as well. All these ratchets are toleranced very nicely. Rotation at the bicep and rotation at the elbow. Now this elbow is interesting because if you want the double joint, you have to have it like this. It is a nice die-cast metal joint. Really nice materials on this thing. So that'll get you the full bend if you have it rotated this way. But the thing is, if you have it like that, his gun sits on the side. I much prefer the look with the gun on the side versus on the back. I just think it's kind of weird looking. So you can't have it like that. I just think it looks better like this. But either way, you can get that articulation, double jointed elbow if you want to, if you have it posed like this. Coming to the hand, you have a rotation at the wrist. You have an in and out joint here. Let you get the hand in and out like that. These are pretty nice hands, honestly. Fingers are on 2 pin joints, so you can bend them. And then the thumb is on a rotating swivel here, and then 2 pins. So that really works really nicely. They're very nice hands. You can move the gun in and out a little bit as well. Coming down the waist, you have a rotation here. No ab crunch on this guy. At least I don't think there is. Yeah, no ab crunch on this guy. For the legs, you get a hip skirt here. Move out of the way. Legs will rotate up to there. There is a soft ratchet in there. So the first click is right there. The second click is past there. So it is on friction, but there's a click point there if you want it to lock. And then out to the side on friction, nice tight joints everywhere. Rotation at the thigh on a ratchet. Very rare that we see ratchets for that. Double jointed knee, so if you bend the top one first, you can get a double joint, but due to the sculpt, you really only get 90 degrees out of it. You can't really get much more, right, no matter how you bend it. You have a ankle tilt on a very tight joint here, so it is die cast down here. You can see the die cast all the way out to there, back to there. You have a toe tilt up. You have a heel. Now, this is actually meant to stay up, but you can use that as a heel spur for extra kind of support. It really is, you know, gorilla toes, but you don't really see it. It's in the back, and it does provide extra support. So if you do want him to have a, you know, aggressive pose, you can use those, but it's meant to be up. But these also rotate his heel spur, so that helps with balance as well. And you can rotate the foot. So quite a bit of articulation just on the foot alone. Now for accessories, you get quite a bit of stuff. Most of them are just combiner parts that are being reused as weapons, but here's his gun. It's got some translucent red paint, silver paint, gunmetal paint. Nice looking gun overall. It does have a handle here which is slotted, so there is a tab inside the hand, and this will just slide right in there. And you can kind of close the fingers around it to get it tighter grip. But there you go. Pretty good looking gun. You also get some other interesting things here. You get this piece here. So this is actually a combiner piece. We'll just take the gun out for now. But they made it so you can mount it. So there's a little slot right there and a tab on the side of the arm. So we bring the arm up. Just get that plugged in. And then you close this around, and it looks like he's got like robotic claws or something. Kind of reminds me of the movie Alien when she was in that mech suit, but you can put these on. Not my favorite thing, but you can store this stuff, and you really want to fold this. Now, the previous figure we're looking at did come with parts that look like this, and this is where they go. They go right here. It's to replace these. I don't have an issue with these, so I'm not sure if I'm going to replace them, but it does come with replacement parts in case you had a problem there. But here's what it looks like if you close it up on both arms. You get the two claw arms. It's a thing you could do. I don't think it makes any sense, but it's something you can store and use these as weapons. You can also take his axe, which looks like this, and it's actually pretty nice. It's got some gold, translucent red, maroon on the handle, more gold down here. And you got kind of a gunmetal plastic up here. And you can have him hold it like this. Obviously the slot is here, so either on this side or rotate it for that side. You just open up the hand. And this one's a little bit trickier because you can't slide it down. You have to like tab it in perfectly. So you got to see where the tab is, get it lined up, and then close the fingers around it. And he holds it very nicely. It looks really cool. You can expand this axe, so it comes with a bunch of other combiner parts, and those combiner parts can be added on. So you're going to take these. Look at this out of his hand for a second. And you can take this part here. Now, it'll make more sense later when we get to combine mode, but for now, just assume this is a combiner part. You can take this, plug it in the front here. This is going to come down and peg into this. It actually has a retracting piece there. It's on a spring-loaded piece. You're going to take another one like that, fold this down, tab it into here, and then these are actually going to plug in together. So bring this down. You can see there's two tabs here on the top. Get those pegged in and pushed in. So it kind of flattens like that. And now you have a bigger, badder hammer. But there's more. You could take these pieces here, and there's a lot. I mean, it's kind of ridiculous. You can put that there, take another one like that, and you can put this here. So you have those. It's just storage, really. Then you can take these and plug them in like this. So it's kind of like the back of it. I don't know. So you can get that. And now you can put it in. The problem with this is this bottom part collides with his arm. So it kind of gets in the way, to be honest. You know, and if you want to switch it, you just put these on the back. But I do feel this isn't the best weapon. And maybe this is the front. Like a big hammer. I don't know. It's alright. He could do that. I just feel like it's silly. And I would be remiss if I didn't show you. You can actually store the other two pieces on here. Basically take this and just plug it into the side here. Nothing fancy to write home about, but you can store it. Whatever. And he can put the gun in his hand. And for quick size comparisons, there it is next to the Transform Element Optimus Prime and the actual Masterpiece Optimus Primal. Obviously very, very different design. Doesn't even really look like him, but that's the closest I could think of. So this is really big. It's a really big body. It's bigger than Optimus. This guy is more in line with like a Carbot or a smaller scale. But they look good together. Will fit in with a nice MP collection. Alright, now let's get Thorilla transformed into his alt mode. And we'll start with the arms here. So go ahead and take the shoulder pads. You're going to lift up off of here and just leave it up like that. Come to the shoulder. We're going to lift up to there, rotate around, and then bring it back down. And then we can rotate at the elbow. So this ends up the other way. And we can come to here, open up this panel here. You're going to open up this panel here on the inside of the arm. Rotate the hand so the thumb is here, and you're going to rotate the thumb so it's sitting straight towards the outside like that. We're going to open up this hand here, the kind of bigger Thorilla hand, and then you're going to take this hand and rotate it back into the space that we just created. It can be a very tight tolerance, and make sure you have all the fingers collapsed as far as they'll go, like that, and the thumb straight on the top. If you don't do that, you'll have trouble clearing this section. That's going to go into there and sit inside the arm. Close that back up. This actually holds and locks onto this other arm. Take the guns, rotate those in, and then this is going to come down and sit on the outside of the arm. Rotate the hand so that you get the thumb in the right spot. This thumb should be just basically rotated up like this. Alright. Now you can bring this, and you can see this is on a slider. So this is going to slide over all the way down. Then you're going to open up this chest plate here on the front. You can actually just pull on the head because the head's connected to it. And take the head, rotate this 180 degrees, bring this down and sit that in here. This arm's going to unpeg from here, slide outwards, straighten up, and then there's two pegs that are going to go into two slots in there. So get that pegged in. Give it a firm push. That really should fit in there. Right. So that's one arm done. You actually bring this back down and tab that in. And you're going to come to the inside here, open up this, and then that'll come down and cover the shoulder. So that's one arm. Let's do the other one. And I'll do that off camera just to save some time. It's basically exactly the same. We'll do everything over here. All right, so there it is with both arms done. But of course, we don't have a head yet. So go ahead and take this. We'll just close that back up. That's just going to sit just like that with the head inside. Same thing on this side. We're going to open this side up. And it can be kind of tough to get out of there. But basically, pull on this. Rotate this up. It's exactly the opposite. Rotate this around. And then put that back. And peg that back in. All right, now let's take care of the legs here. And these are interesting. So go ahead and open up this panel. You can pull that down. It's just tabbed in right there. And open this up. Same on this one. And we'll just do one leg at a time. So come to the front here. Open up this knee piece here. And we're going to take the leg accordion this down on this double hinge, and it's a tight double hinge, so you got to get it all the way down. I'm going to take this and tab this in right here onto that peg. We're going to rotate at the thigh, and we're going to bend at the upper thigh. So at the upper joint, don't bend at the lower joint. It's going to fold down. So it's going to end up all the way inside here. Make sure you're rotating it upper. You kind of have to hold it here. It's a very tight joint. Basically get it all the way up, and then put this knee back down. We're going to take the toe, it's going to fold up into here. I'm going to fold down these toes for the monkey mode or gorilla mode. So that's one leg pretty much done. We're going to do the same thing on this side. It's exactly the same sequence. All right, now they have both legs taken care of. We're going to rotate them forward to get him into kind of his position. That's where the locking position of these, they will actually lock right there. That's what you want. It's going to come down. You're going to rotate the arms so they're forward. Bring the head up. All right, and there is Thorilla in his gorilla mode, and it's a pretty good looking gorilla. And I can't remember if I showed this or not, but this shoulder does have to, the shoulder pad has to slide up on that slider in order to be in the right position to be above the arm. But yeah, it really does look really nice. I like the head sculpt there. It's got a little translucent red. This is another case where painted eyes would have been better than translucent red because you really just can't see it. Lots of gold accents of paint. I mean, it's the same basically what you saw before, but except for the head. You do get a little bit of new articulation, so the head itself goes all the way down to there, all the way up to there. So the neck joint itself has a lot of movement. You can open the mouth on the gorilla, which is really cool. That looks great. He's got a great head sculpt, nice teeth in there, painted inside the mouth. They went all out with that. I mean, they really gave it all. The arms are the same as before. You can see they're longer, obviously, because we've rotated them around. But the hands are different. They're bigger, and they have a slightly different articulation. This thumb can go to either side, and it's on a ball joint, and then it's got a pin for the middle. These fingers have a pin and a ball joint. So they're pretty nice overall, but they are bigger. Oh, and you have this inward outwards movement on the thumb, or on the hand. Other than the face and the hands, everything else is pretty much the same. You can kind of pose these outwards like this. The toes on the rear legs will go up and down, but I mean, not too much different here in terms of articulation for the gorilla mode. And for some quick size comparisons, there they are next to MP10 Optimus Prime and the CangToys Scoria or Slag. And these are big. I mean, this is very big. The wolf is smaller, but you know, it kind of makes sense. So just for sense of scale, it is a very big gorilla. So final recommendations on the CangToys Thorilla and Rusarius. And I basically feel the exact same way as I did with a huge rhino. I'm going to say 4 out of 5. I was very close to giving it a 5, but what holds me back is the kind of very stylized look of these guys. And it's hard to hold that against something like this, but because of that, it's not something I'd buy for myself, even though this is a really good set. The robot modes look great. They're posed. They got all the posability you would want. Really high quality materials. There's die cast in it. The paint is excellent on all these figures. It's very well painted. You got plenty of accessories, plenty of looks for them. You know, you can change it up. Everything works. I mean, there's nothing wrong with this. It's just that I have no connection to this character. You know, you can kind of pretend this is like a, you know, Nemesis Optimus Primal or something, and this is some kind of wolf character from Beast Wars. I don't know, but for me, I just don't have a connection to it, and that's why, you know, I didn't pick up this set. But I really appreciate Ting Lee sending these to me because I get to appreciate them and experience them, but kind of confirm my feelings, which is they're just not for me. But if you like transformable, beast-style robots like this, these are one of the best beast-style robots I've handled, period. Better than even the Masterpiece. They're just so well done. The materials, the paint, the sculpt, the details, the weapons, everything is there. Now, I still can't speak to combined mode, so I'm saving that for the combined mode video. But as far as robot mode and beast modes, they're very well done. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.